Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to my presentation about object-centric processes, where I will be talking about combination of process modeling with object-oriented programming. What it will basically mean, I will show you our way how we are giving objects a life cycle. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Lubos Petrovic, and I am a tech lead in a company called NetGriff. NetGriff is an enterprise low-code platform that is having a unique way how to approach creation of applications that is enabling non-developers to create applications faster. Can you hear me, guys? Okay, sorry. That is enabling non-developers to create applications and making life of developers, which I believe many of you are, easier and making creation of application faster and, in the end of the day, cheaper. I am for more than 7 years in the field of software development. For the last couple of years, I'm a sales engineer, tech lead. And me and the company NetGriff are focusing on event-based systems, process automation, and enterprise-level applications. What I will be talking about today are these three terms: object-centric processes, process-driven programming, and all layers or all-in-one objects. Why these three terms? Our company is coming with a strong research background. The founder of the company, Professor Gabriel Juhas, is in the research of Petrovic and BPM for more than 30 years. He was dean of Slovak Technical University. And 10 years ago, he and a couple of our colleagues decided that they want to make something that will actually bring something new and something fresh to application development. Object-centric processes are describing how we are creating the application. Process-driven programming is our way, the approach to our own low-code language. And all layers in one object will be shown in a couple of slides. These three terms I will be mentioning a lot, so sorry about that. How it can work, and what you guys probably already know. In the typical application development, there are multiple groups of people, but there are at least these two. There are analysts and consultants, so people that are describing the problem in the company, people that are making some business requirement documents, some textual description, some graphics, but these outcomes are not an executable application. What actually is an executable application is the application that developers make based on these BRD documents. And what is our niche? With our platform and with our low-code language, you are at the same time able to create a graphical description of or graphical solution to the problem that you want to make. And also, this graphical description is an executable application. What are the elements that make the object-centric processes possible? In the middle, you can see forms, process model, and data objects. We are calling it a vertical object. We are able to do in our platform workflows that are based either on BPMN or on Petronet. And on top of the task in the workflows, you are able to create forms. These forms are then customer or employee-facing. And when you are creating these forms, at the same time, you are creating a data layer. This data layer can be also created, and from this data layer can be later created forms as well. Then we are having roles and user lists. By roles and user lists, you are describing who can do what within the low-code application. We are also having actions that are reactions on top of events. So those are bigger or smaller pieces of code that can help you make your application more dynamic. And last but not least, we are having search queries that help us to find anything that you want within the application. How can you compare it to things that you maybe already know? Maybe you are coming from the full-stack application background, so you are creating front-ends, back-ends, databases by some code and connecting them by some web services. And when you are done with your work, you can upload it or you can put it to some server that will make it executable. Then there are traditional low-codes. In traditional low-codes, you are having presentation layer, application layer, or data layer created in a nice graphical manner, and then bind them all together, and it is an executable application then. Our approach is different. We are having a running web application that is, again, these three layers, but it is a running web application where you are able to upload that low-code source code, and this source code will be executable in the moment on fly at the server. So you are having a black box of an application, or you're having a box of application portal where you can upload these small pieces of applications or these applications that can cover whatever agenda, and on fly they will enrich your environment with a new functionality that your users can use. how does the process-driven programming, how does our development cycle look like? You have a problem. You describe it. Either you can do it directly in our builder, or you can do it somewhere else and then redo it in our builder. When you are done creating all those elements that I described before, so workflows, forms, data, roles, etc., you can download or export a source code of the application. So the same thing that you saw before in a graphical manner can be saved in a XML file. That is how we are like. That is the language that we are using for our local programming. And this XML file can be then taken, uploaded to a running web application where our application engine is embedded, and on the fly, this application is executable for users to use. This really helps us to make a rapid prototyping. This really enables non-developers to create applications as they do not need to use code to create stuff. But better to hear an example or see an example of how it works than to hearing the theory for 100 times. Here I'm having some example that maybe many of you in organizations already know. You need to make some requests to your colleagues, or your client need to make some requests in your company. Somebody is submitting a form with some data, and then they submit this ticket, this request, and somebody at the registration, in this case, will decide whether it should go or should not go to legal, because there can be some GDPR data or whatever. And if this employee decided that it needs to go to legal, then there is a task of statement of the legal department, and they do need to make some statement. If not, it is going directly to answer to the client, which is PR department doing, and afterwards, the client will get an answer from the company of like what is the state of this problem. This application could go longer, but let's stay here. So, couple of human tasks, couple of system tasks, 3 interfaces, 3 different roles, 1 system role, and there will be some action and also connection to rich code. The thing that I'm showing right now is our application builder. It is desktop-only online IDE for creation of this sort of applications. You can directly go to it by the QR code. Usually, the example that I'm showing here are done by 2 people. It's a 2-man operation, but I'm alone here on the stage. So I prepared the presentation slides that will cover this for me. So in the beginning, in the application builder, I'm creating workflow. As I mentioned, I want to do there a couple of tasks. One task is for the submit of the request. Another one is for the registration. Fast forward, there is also the branch that is going either to the registration or is directly going to the answer to the client. Here it is already renamed. And the last thing that I did there was like some form that I will be reusing in a couple of the tasks. So I generalized that. Next step is creation of forms. On top of any of those tasks that you've seen, I'm able to drag and drop data. So here in the beginning, I put there some names, so I'm able to rename the ID of the data field. I'm able to rename the name, title, put there another one. There I want that user to fill also a surname. After surname, some email and phone number. On email, I later want to use some validation, and you will see how I did it. Then I am having there some text area, some bigger text that the user will fill their request. It is different component from the typical text, as I want the user to put there more than just a couple of characters. And last is a file field, which is called attachment, as I want the user to upload there some attachment. I could make some surname, email, whatever required, as I want the user to fill this. Another slide I'm having here is our data layer. So at the time when I was creating the forms, also data layer was created. So there you have email, file, name, surname, phone number. Also, there is already one extra field that I created only in the data layer that I called toLegal. And this field I later attached to a registration form, as I want the employee of registration to decide whether it should go or should not go to legal department. On another slide, you can see different example of the form. Here is the task answer to the client, where I also put a text field of answer to the client. There is hidden statement to of the legal department, because the statement can or does not need to be filled by the user. System will decide whether it should go to legal or not. So in case it wouldn't, I do not want to spam the PR department with this data. Later, I want to make there few roles. The roles that I want to have here are roles for registration, PR, for legal, and one system role. I'm able to assign these roles to each of the tasks. So on top of the registration, I can manage the permission. And to transition permission, I can assign a registration employee, or registration role to perform only this task. Nobody else who won't have this role will be able to access it. Also on toLegal, skipLegal, and form, I'm having a system because I want only administrator or system to work with these tasks. Another step. You've seen the no-code part, so workflows, forms, data, roles. That can be drag and drop and clicked, and anybody can do that. And also that part is fully sufficient for you to have a complex application that can cover whatever request in the organization, right? That can be done by non-developers, by analysts. It can be uploaded to the web server, and it will be running. But in this case, as I wanted to show it to developers, I'm also having low-code functions that I will be calling from our Action API. Those are already pre-made functions in Java and in Groovy that we have there for local developers to work with. And later you will see how we are able to extend it with the new functionalities to make those applications really complex. So here, on top of registration, I will be doing two functions. One function is on the pre-event, on the finish, on the pre-phase of the event finish. And here, I'm just changing the value. That is our pre-made function. I'm changing the status to field that the request was checked by registration. Simple as that. On fly, there was that task called status, and there will be a text field that will be changing when somebody will click submit finish of the task. Another thing that I'm putting there is on the post-event. And here I'm having basic function if else, and if some user had chosen on the registration that it should go to legal, so I'm choosing to legal boolean value. If it is true, it should be on. It could also be only the boolean but dot value. Assign run the assign task and finish task. So system will do something automatically for me on that event. And simple as that, two simple functions are given into the code. Here's another description, another example. On event finish pre of the statement of the legal department, I'm changing the status request was checked by the legal department, and also I'm making the statement visible for the user who is making the answer to the client. And now let's jump for you developers to the part where we are also connected to some rich code functionality. Our platform is compiled, or our local applications are compiled in Java. And when you are having your own portal, you can also access the Java part, or you can upload their plugins that can be like .jar files that can be also uploaded into our platform. But let's stay in this part. Here, I created in a special file, etas action delegate, from which we are able to call also these functions from low code. I created some function that generate ChatGPT answers. So we want simplify the life of the employee of the PR, that when they are generating the answer could be prefabricated for them, and they can just somehow modify it and send it to customer. This is how I can call that function from our low code. So on the task answer to the client, on the assigned pre-event, so before user will see the form when he will be assigning that task, we will call that web service to ChatGPT and get some value to field of answer to the client. Now I finish doing everything in the application builder. Usually when I'm doing this application demonstration at the presentation, it takes me around 15 to 20 minutes. It is not that easy in the normal world because there are still complications with clients, but it can really, really simplify life during application creation. And here I'm jumping to another application. It's our etas NetGriff Cloud. It is our playground for developers environment, where the presentation layer is Angular, Spring Boot, or all the other technology. You can also access it. It is for free. It is a cloud version. And here is how I will download the source code of the application for the generic request application. Now I'm jumping to that second environment, which is that eTask app. When I will go to processes, I'm able to upload a new low-code application. I'm putting the Devworld request, generic request. And simple as that, the application was uploaded to server, and right now is interpreted into those layers that I mentioned before. On the left side, I'm having the simulation mode, so you understand better what's happening there. When user is anonymous user will get to the form. When they assign it, actually it happened also in the template application that the user is right now filling the data. So I was doing that. Lubos, Petrovic, my email, phone number, text of the request, and I can also put there some attachment. So my request is that I want to help check something in my contract. But I also needed to put there some attachment, but you will see that I will put there an XML file. We are able to put there whatever data in the attachment of files. It will go to the storage of the application. After user finish the submit of request, the state of application moved to requested. The status task is available, and also the task of registration. Normal employee can see the new case in the application and see that the request was submitted, but cannot see the registration task. Only users that are having the role of registration can work with that. This is what I did. As I'm there an administrator, I assigned myself a role of registration, and now I can see also in the case the task of registration. This employee of registration sees that it is application that have something in common with contract, and is deciding that, okay, it should go to legal. After this user finishes this task, system on the background will automatically call to legal by that function that you've seen in the registration finish event. And the customer can see that the request was registered. Last two tasks are statement of legal and answer to the client. So I assign myself the role of answer to the client as a PR and the legal. And on top of statement of the legal department will put there some answer. In this case, that user uploaded some XML, and they didn't put there the contract, so they will put there some answer that what the hell is happening. Attach is not a contract. And here will come the rich code part, where we are able to connect the no-code, low-code with rich code. As I put there the function of generate my ChatGPT answer to the client. Yeah, the status was changed, that the request was checked by the legal department. And in answer to the client, when the user will assign the task, the call to the ChatGPT actually happened. Here, the PR department is checking your registration to change your address has been noted, dear customer. So they are not changing anything, just but putting there some polite answer. And after the user will finish also this task, this process instance, this case is done. Only the status task is available. And what this user can see, that you can find the answer below, and the answer to the client was marked as visible, so the user can see it. There is that polite answer that was generated by ChatGPT, or there can be any sort of web service called. And we are done. This easy, 30 minutes, generic request application can be created. You can, by this rapid prototyping, go to your client and have application ready for the presentation. And in, let's say, 2 months, you are having the full portal with whatever agenda done in there. For what is this platform used? What is the benefit for the clients, for the partners that can use it? Usually, you have either like e-task applications or internal task management. You have e-form applications, so communication through forms with, for example, client or some contractor. You have BPM solutions, so some orchestration of tasks in the companies. Our platform combines it all, because you can have those forms available for logged user or not logged user. You can have those tasks with a human-machine interface, or they can be systematic. And in general, it also helps in the new app generation, as you can create whatever application that can simplify the life of rich code developers. It can be connected to literally anything, at least this Spring Boot Java in the end of the day. And how the applications actually look like, this is example from one of our customers. So customers usually have some intro dashboard where there are all agendas from the applications with some numbers, graphs, whatever what they need. And after they will select some area that, for example, they want to go to invoices or HR, the task management or case management is shown to them. On the right side, they can see the list of cases or tasks, what they should work with. And on the left side is like multi-layer menu that they can navigate through it. That was everything for me. I'm not sure if I did it in 20 minutes or less. You can find us at stand 9E. We are there the whole 2 days, and we will be really happy to talk to you and go into bigger detail. Thank you very much.